Hey guys, I want to give you a welcome to this set of tutorials for spatial analysis tools in ArcMap. Let me remind you, these shapes that you're seeing and this MXD file will be given to you so you can open it and check any doubts you have. But I will strongly recommend you to do the the workshop on a new document. But let's start working, okay? So spatial analysis tools is a set of already programmed tools right above here that can gives us and allows us to make medium to difficult analysis, okay? So let's start with this first problem, in which the municipality of Querétaro has a budget of 7 million to equip and construct 4 libraries for high school students. Over here, as you are seeing, we have a census of elementary schools. And this can start by giving us a sense of how much students are in these schools and where are the students concentrated. So we can locate those libraries on places that will be accessible to the highest number of students. So to start, we're gonna go to spatial analysis tools, and right in density we can start looking for this tool called point density. So let's drag the elementary schools and the population field. Let me remind you, the population field is the total number of feminine and masculine students. So it's a total of the students. Let's put it over here. It's a total. And let's name it 101G. This is just a code for me to remember, but you can name it as whatever you want. The output cell size, let's put it 100, okay? I'm going to explain to you why this value. And the radius, let's give it 1,000. One important thing to remember when you're running this kind of analysis is to check which units your shapefile is. So over here we see the projection, which is UTM, degrees, and the linear units are meters. So the radius and the output cell size that we introduce will be represented in meters. Okay, the output cell size. For each one of these points, a little pixel will be created, which will be the dimensions of the pixel. It will be 100 by 100, okay? So that's clear. The radius means that for each of these points, it's gonna be filled in a radius of 1,000 meters by these little pixels, okay? So the result of this kind of analysis is where there's a bigger concentration of points, it's gonna be more darkly colored, okay? As you can see over here. But the important and the main thing that this analysis will be giving us is the concentration of students. So these are the values that really matter to us, that are important, and that will be determined where the libraries will be putting. As you can see, right in the examples that I will be giving you in raster, when you change the values of the cell size and the radius, you will be given different types of results. Let's say a low concentration type will be giving us this kind of analysis, where you have a bigger cell size and a bigger radius. But a high concentration analysis will be giving us really punctual zones, over here, we have a high concentration of people living these kinds of blocks. So when you're running this type of analysis, it's important to check which kind of concentration you're aiming to, A low concentration will be giving you values between 300 and 400, whether a really high concentration will be giving you 1000. Let's do another example of this one so it's clearer. Let's do really high concentration, okay? We want to see high values of concentration, but let's see what happens first. Again, the population is the total, and let's name it 101 T. And let's put a really small cell size, 20 meters, and as kind of a small radius, 500 meters. Let's see what happens. It's gonna take a couple of seconds, but be patient. Okay, now we're seeing that we have bigger concentrations but smaller areas. So this serves us a lot when we're trying to determine the location for these libraries. Okay, so let's play this one, and that's about it. Let's see. Over here we can see that this is a good area to put a library, but with the exception that there is a lot of services around the city center, which is this one. And what we're looking for is places that had a lot of concentration of students but doesn't have these services. So we can start by this area, it will be really beneficial for the people living around here to have a couple of libraries, to have culture or museums. So the next step for this analysis is to start locating these punctual areas where it's more suited for a library. Let's do it. So the next step in the analysis will be to isolate those higher values that we are finding, So we're gonna use a tool called raster calculator. The difference between the vectors that we usually use in ArcMap and raster, it's that raster are pixels. They are not physical entities per se. They are more images that need to be distinguished, Okay, so the raster calculators allows us to, let's say, in this one, to separate and isolate the values that we were interested. So let's say we only want to know those values above 15,000, okay? So we're gonna do it, and what it's gonna be giving us is a couple of rasters that are just above those lines, The 0 are below, and the 1 are the one that are above 1500. So right now we can see polygons that isolate those higher values. Once again, this area is popping out. Okay? So for the first tutorial, that's about where we're gonna end it. But let's make a quick recapitulation, So first we have the census of elementary schools that we turn into raster with point density analysis. And after having these values, we went and searched for the raster calculator and isolate those values in the raster that was created that were above a certain value. Okay? So see you in the next episode, guys. Any doubt, leave it in the comments and we'll try to help you out with anything that you didn't understand. Okay, have a great day.